Right after that, he immediately used magic to attack him. It makes a big explosion happen. At the same time, he was thrown away. I can't help but cry out in pain. How did you get rid of me so quickly? He couldn't help but scream and shout. As soon as he finished asking, that's when he was beaten up and beaten up. Meanwhile, his subordinates were also beaten up by the Middle Butt faction. The man on his side was also beaten unconscious. Chun Cotton looked at the opponent's name in front of her and sighed, being tired. The battle seems to be over. When fighting, then we're completely unaware of the danger. As it ends, we realize self-efficacy is not enough. If you take risks like this, you'll die. My hands are still shaking. He looked at his hand. Is constantly trembling and complaining. The day before yesterday, this mortal war. It's completely different from the usual martial arts. You just need to make a mistake. We will lose our lives immediately. With that pressure, we didn't act like we wanted to. The main thing is the calendar experience. We're still pretty lacking. No, I think a life and death battle is like this. Even though he defeated the enemy, but he's still a little nervous. The Yogin here also seems to be very tired. He's holding a sword and he's breathing. Suddenly, an arm was placed on his shoulder. We were lucky. Are you okay now? Qian looked at him and said thank you. It's a battle of life and death. Fortunately, we did it. As the master said before, no matter how you practice, if you don't have the experience of browsing the gypsy calendar, throw it away too. Now, through this battle, we've learned a lot. Chun Cotton said, yes, I thought I was better. Many people go through this battle to realize that I'm too poor. The tired Yogin replied. His answer made Chun Cotton sit next to surprise. Poor Sao. You've been quiet for a long time. The two of us have joined forces with the bastard. This bastard's power is not simple. He's called Shan Dong. To gain experience of his gypsy war. No one can ignore it. This battle, I'd say we've done something extraordinary. Chun Cotton helps you up, but in my mind, I'm constantly thinking. But I still think I'm bad at it. But I can tell you thanks to the light here. But the strength and determination of the other brothers has increased quite a lot. If you don't let him control the situation, then maybe this battle on our side will also be sacrificed. Some people should also. Thinking back is too dangerous. My strength, it really needs to be increased. You sink into your own thoughts. There are many difficulties ahead. We're doing so well now. He leaned lightly on his brother's shoulder. I don't need 7 hopes for me. Zhu Gan looked back when he heard that. Master Shu, a white heaven. He looked at the 2 brothers in front of him and said nothing. Suddenly he spoke. Real life and death, it's different from training in paint. Many times we can't use all of our power. If we practice, we're all successful. It can be real combat. We didn't achieve that either. We want to be complete and strong. But what? It also takes time and experience. So you don't have to be 7. Today, you two have seen your true self. Not much experience, that's good. I seriously look at you two. Later, thanks to this battle, you two can grow better. From there, the limits can be reached that I never thought of. White Sky continues to say, looking forward to the urge to comfort and support is not surprising. Further steps forward, Sao. Thank you, Master. We understand a lot. I'm happy to see you say. The monk also smiled happily when he saw it. Suddenly, a voice of that AI. Make the white sky become alert. Good talk today. It is not bad to see you show your strength. But it's far from being qualified. Where does the middle butt come from behind? He showed a threatening face and looked at them. So learn quickly to move forward quickly. Try to be like me, understand? The Lord has opened my eyes today. I didn't think the power was so strong. You point to the white sky. Say, but white sky doesn't seem very interested. Answer me, I don't need your praise. Then they put the bodies of the wearers together in one place. Each person in charge of pulling a guy's body into a pile. There are only 2 names here. They all lost their lives due to fighting Ming. I can't help but look at their bodies. They fought with me. They always wanted to put me to death. But there's absolutely no way we can kill them. You sink into your own thoughts. It is true that we still have compassion. Or rather, mentally weak. So how can we keep up with Ming? Gypsies are full of danger. You silently sink into your thoughts. Suddenly, I was silent and said nothing. You seem to be thinking of something. I suddenly thought back to what had happened earlier. He holds the sword in his hand. Definitely use the slashing hand. The blood of the soldiers splashed on the middle. Right in front of you. I'm amazed. Look at the guys in the opposing camp being slashed one by one, without pity. If I don't stand, then I suddenly fall into a deep meditation. Buried cotton standing next to it. I see you are silent and say nothing. I'm a little curious. Maybe the police have killed them all. Suddenly you're panicking. Make Chun's ass stand right next to, not out of question. Kill your enemy. Who wants to die and die? It's the basic thing to survive in this gang. White sky is still silent against hand. Look at the dead bodies in front of you. Chun's ass is standing right behind me. Seeing you have that attitude, you seem to want to say something. Then the master stood in front of me. To stop us from killing them all. I suddenly remember something. We understand that too. If you live forever in your past, how can we move forward? I know very well what the master means. Maybe the paint has changed now. People who had the strength were united against the enemy. If everyone wants to carry a piece of paint like that, I also feel relieved. He silently stooped down, laughing implicitly. Are you all well rested? He asked suddenly. Everyone's voice is not out of question. Chun but just silently bent down with a smile. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. They're not waiting for us. I suddenly raise my face. Determined eyes look at everyone. Inside the dark tunnel, Vo's delegation is rushing to follow each other, running. Hurry up and say it's not over. The situation here is too dangerous. Everything is so chaotic. Then he glanced out and asked everyone if they were okay. One person in a group who speaks up. You are okay, old man? He said nothing but looked back. Behind him was a trembling martial arts disciple. Take the injured arm. He turned back in the direction of the kier. Give me your hand. The disciple answered softly with a loud voice. No, leave it alone. Don't move, he told the disciple. The disciple turned out to be the true illusionist. He only screamed for an hour in pain. Seriously careful, frowning not to say anything. My hands and feet are full of wounds. Is bleeding endlessly. Look at the wound on the hands and feet. In my head thinking, the blood is a little dark. It doesn't seem to have been poisoned. This situation cannot be cured in time. This arm is considered abandoned. If the condition persists, if it cannot be cured, the poison will spread throughout the body. It will turn into a poison. My feet are hurting every breath. I was disappointed after thinking for a while. Use your hand to the wound of your leg. It made him cry out in pain. My son doesn't bother to scream. Then use all the air. Infusion and treatment for phantom legs. See that feet delusion aesthetic. Beau's legs are entering my body. Looks like he realized we've been poisoned. If to cure this poison, it takes a lot of internal airflow. Moreover, it takes a long time to treat. We're in a dangerous situation like this. Then you can't let him waste his time like that. Then he looked ahead and thought. The road ahead has many pitfalls. We have to deal with martial artists. A situation like this is not okay. If you delay here, sooner or later, we will follow them all. They must die. Then he cried out in pain for an hour. The blood of the phantom's legs floated into the surrounding air. Two people with illusory legs and broken necklaces. After a while passed, let go of your hands and feet and say it is okay. The old man said anxiously, maybe you can for me. Don't let him finish his sentence. Say what you want. In this sword strain, can you get the treasure or not? Not even mentioned. But your arm is more dangerous than that. He turned his back and continued. We spent a lot of time. It pushes the poison out of your body. So next time, listen carefully. Your feet can only say one word. You don't have to worry. I know how to do it myself. Spoiled word. Listen to the bad words. You can only watch the shadow of your back. Without words. A person in the martial arts is coming forward to ask for the death of his wife. Elder. And the disciples behind us leave them behind. The words of the devil can't be stopped. Those who fall behind take care of themselves now. If we go back, there's too much danger. Not to mention the many roads in here. We're not sure we can find them either. Now time is running out. We need to move quickly. The center of the sword. Then hurry up. The disciples around him answered with a loud voice. The dead man turned his head and looked back. In the heart say, it looks like something's moving here. The wind seems far away, but it seems to be a master. With the air radiating so horribly. If it catches up to us, it won't be all right. Especially fighting in tight tunnels. So we need to hurry up. Those who are left behind are waiting. From the darkness at the end of the tunnel, flashes of blue light. That startled the spoiler. Then run from nowhere to shout quickly retreat. The crowd behind the panic. Run and scream quickly. Everybody's running ahead. La hurry back. Join up with those in front. Then they came into town screaming for their brother, and there were too many of them. We are hard to resist. They can't hold it anymore. I can't see a scene like this. The Kier people shouted. Those bastards are going to eat the treasure here. You think you can escape us? Hurry, kill them, run. Then one comes forward. Take down an executioner and kill all those martial artists. A radar that's so powerful that it flutters. All of those disciples are splashing behind. It makes everyone shake. The king used his best to hold this one. A handgun that creates a powerful light, lighting the whole way. When the disciples around them saw this, they shouted out to the elders. They say, run away, no need to stop them. Quickly retreat quickly. I'll stay and stop them for you. All the students shouted yes. The Kier people continued to aggressively rush towards the group of Marshall. You have to bite your teeth. Use your best to catch that one-handed trick. Martial arts group is continuing to run. I think in my head that the situation is too bad. This place is full of traps. Keep moving fast. Cannot be calculated before and after. This will all die. Before, I had to face the animals. It seems to be luck in our suffering. No matter how talented the pharmacists are, it's not easy to create that potion. So maybe the zombies themselves. It's the last stop he left here to guard. So it's possible. We're almost at the end of this catacombs. A martial arts disciple running behind him said. The old man looked ahead. There's light from the distance. Make the broken scrunchies have to frown and squint. In my heart think the light here Sao. Is the end of the tunnel or Sao? He said that all his disciples were trying to get up. We're almost at the end of the tunnel. The disciples heard that and shouted, yes. Then plug in the head and keep running towards the light. After running for a while, the martial arts group was slowly stopping. They're all breathing hot after running for a while. The voice says this is. Then he looked up. Out at the end of the tunnel is a huge space. Bright. Is illuminated from the light source above. Spoiled by a giant cliff Sao. In my heart, I wonder where it is. The final point of the tomb is here. Or need to climb up there. Then he suddenly seemed to see something. Said in my heart, in the middle of that cliff, there's a gap, and that's a gap. That slot can go in there. That's where it is. This is definitely where the wood is. Suddenly, he glanced back. Through the martial arts disciples. The whispery talk about it. When the feeling we felt before is near. Look deep inside the dark tunnel with no way out. He thought the speed of moving here was too fast. At the same time, the image of the light is rapidly rushing forward. Hands clinging to the stone as hard as they could. Everyone's trying to climb up and hear the urge. Even cows have to climb. Spoiler screams hand in power. We've got to climb the cliff. Hurry up. A group of people scrambling up the cliff. Loud and clear. Beneath him, there was another army of sword-wielding soldiers. One shouted, the Wooks are climbing up the cliff. The sword-wielding men rushed up the cliff and chased after him. Absolutely, you can't let peace fall into the hands of God. When he was chased, he was angry. He ran and screamed his feet up. It wasn't stolen. I can't breathe hard. How much longer do we have to run? It's really hard. Even though AI is exhausted, but still run forward with a loud scream. What's wrong with you? How long has SAO not run? It's already breathing pink. So should. I usually tell you to work hard. Despise the work. What's wrong? You're tired. Middle buttocks running through quietly talking. When to come back, you have to do more. When you hear that, you think yes. Of course, I'm not tired. Something that's not human. Exhausted, almost breathless out, a little irritated scold. I really want to punch one. That word was accidentally heard by the middle butt. He turned to the back. Teasing, bewildered. Middle buttocks holding a sword in the ass. Don't want to be stabbed to death. Take your legs and run. You're going to die and you want to punch somebody. I made a mistake. I was just thinking in my head. I'm running. I'm running. Fucking. God forbid you beat this guy to death. Instead of babbling, save your strength and run away. This evil man. My ass is running and thinking. The Kier aren't moving forward anymore. That means they've arrived. Where there's my knitting mix. His eyes burned with anger. The wrestlers dare to touch Lao Tzu's things. If we're going to die, we have to eat it fast. The dragon god is waiting for me. Red light is running and screaming. Exploiting my labor, that's it. Leave me now. You beggars, hurry up the lion's foot. It's not losing them. The red light is screaming, oh my God, my beggar number. Suddenly, someone said, the staff can't run anymore. He told his subordinates to run, and he would rather kill his subordinates. The red light kicked him hard, bastard. I can't believe that name doesn't fit. Kick back into the red light. Why did you beat your subordinates? He remembered the scene where Chu's butt held a sword. As scissors. I think we should do the same with him. The results are different like this. The white sky seems unbearable. Breathing out every heavy breath. He was suddenly stunned. There's a light shining down this long path. That's the way out. The ultimate joy is. There's a bright light there, and hurry up. Suddenly, the exhaustion stopped. He slowly raised his head to look. What is it? Martial artists are still, in spite of their lives, climbing the cliffs. Your ass is screaming up there. There's a hole in there. Someone asked me back over there. I can't breathe. So we have to climb up there. The sky also looks up there. I also sweat looking at this. Not enough time to laugh. You're always kidding me. Those who were climbing on the cliff looked startled. Climbing the SAO cliffs. Why is it finally boring like this? Not too excited to climb the cliff. I've never been to Hoa Sun before. The Chinese also appreciate. We don't waste our time in vain. White Sky also commented, every day we have to climb up the chewed field. 5 times higher, this place a few times. If we fall asleep now, we'll climb this cliff. It's as easy as eating candy. The buttocks at the bottom suddenly got a U-spot. It's also because of that crazy guy's training. The four brothers shouted forward. They go up the cliff, a straight climb. Leaving the smoke behind. Everyone's back was surprised. What's so fast? They're climbing the cliff like they're crawling on the floor. There's someone below holding a spear, screaming to stop them. Throw weapons. Countless other weapons of all kinds. Fly towards the four brothers above. Put the knife in their backs. Not enough time to turn your back. I saw a lance coming towards me. But Chu's ass rushed to stop it all. He shouted at everyone to keep moving their weapons to stop them. Because I just reminded everyone. So a spear swooshed through Chu's ass. He couldn't stop it. The spear is pinned straight to the cliff right in the face of the tease. To stop it all. So Sao can stop all of that. Beneath the cliffs, they're still going strong. Hurry up for me. Chu but hesitated. It's just too many for us to stop them all. Suddenly, there was a scream from the wise men. Don't touch the paint. Kwang ran from Ra's cave and shouted. The cave gate closed. Hoa Sun's people took turns dragging the Kier people down. Don't let them throw weapons. The pink glow screamed out above. Flower God Long party. Just trust me down here. Let's go up. Don't worry about down here. His ass saw him laughing and laughing. Like you've just done something big. Just turn around and make a horrible face. Hoa Sun used all his strength to climb up. The cynical lioness looks down angry, does not understand. He raised his sword to power. And so on. A tornado that strikes at high speed. Not enough time to split up. What the hell, asshole? How miserable must we be to get here? Sao can stand inert. Ra. Look at the plunder stolen. The white sky screamed, let's go first. Than Min. The ass is also full. Overtake everyone charging in front. If you die, we also have to eat the rice. I couldn't believe it when I saw the scene in front of me. What is he running on the cliff? I want to face Sao. Arrogant son of a bitch, two streams of power against each other. Creating a lot of wind waves. What little Kier? Who did you say was the son? You two seem equal to each other. No one loses. AI also tries its best to get the knitting mixture. Both are close, with blue light at the top of the cliff. Under two sword-shaped shadows on the ground. Chu but jumped down the cliff with a sword. Then I realized that something was wrong. There it is, I suddenly thought. When I saw what I was looking for. It exists right in front of you. But it's very difficult to reach it. Because on the ground, they're all swords pierced. Like thorns in the way. But the wooden box, again that AI wily placed on the high stone platform. In the forest of iron swords, that's where the wood is. A deep voice came up next to me. Middle butt, your child's name is Dragonflower. Right? You used the treasure, after taking it from the hand in town, and bring to the state of martial arts. We are coming to the sword. Right. Expect difficult to understand. Ask the old man again. What the hell are you talking about? He didn't answer the question, but kept talking. That's right, what you do is completely out of my control. Not tiger, name Hoa Sun, God long. I was so young and so smart. But now it's time for this country to clash with us here. All your tricks before the devil. It won't work anymore. Go away, and I will spare your life. The man standing from a distance just stare at the middle of the ass and say contempt. A third-generation disciple like you, it's not enough to deal with me at all. I'll leave everything to you. How do you feel? If you deliberately don't listen to what I say. If we move one step closer to the knitting mixture. Then sure, I will kill you right here. Bad Scanty frowned furiously, glaring eyes ready to speak. Middle butt, there was no movement in front of him. But there's still a lot of hatred in his eyes. The air is slowly enveloping. The damage is getting worse. Look at that scene. It seems like it might scare people. As not, the middle buttocks unconsciously gave a scornful smile and replied, too scared. Your mouth says it will pass, but is radiating gas. It shows the opposite. It seems like you want to beat me right here. That's it. Am I right? Not only that, he even raised his face to add to the provocation. If I don't back down now, what can you do to me? A serious face of indignation, but I can't say a bad word. He told me he was trying to kill him. He can feel my breath. His sword-wielding hands suddenly arrived. Shiver and shake. That's not possible. Why does he feel so strong? I seem to have a little contempt for that boy. I just think he's a little scheming. Martial arts is not bad, but all of that. It doesn't reflect his true power at all. When I realized I was wrong, he closed his eyes. I regret my shallow thoughts. Now we have to look at him again. Now it's the opposite in his eyes. The young man standing in front of me. It's a horrible blast. It's not trivial. That's a pretty dangerous kid. It can intervene in a fight with me. Maybe here. Maybe what he feels is the air in my heart. That's what we don't actively reveal. He has considered, but is not a name. That AI can also arbitrarily VA touch. But for a man like him, he had to give up. I don't know what he's up to. But suddenly softened his voice. My child really admires you. But it all stops there. I have given you too much grace here today. But everything has a limit. If you are stubborn, force me to act. When you know what you are doing, go away. China is not afraid of him. It's just being quiet. Think about the best direction for yourself. Of course, I know his intentions. If there's a riot here, there's a lot of magic. Even if anyone loses their life, it's impossible to trace anything. Even if it's a little irritating, or suspect Chauveau is sending, no one can say anything. Everything will sink down again. Today, here, maybe there will be a fight. My most stressful, since the regression, that he gave up the knitting mixture. It's impossible. So one of you might have to leave it here. This is also an option that neither side wants. But there's no other way. Yet through his words, he still wants to give me a way back. So it seems like he has not completely lost his humanity. Maybe, with a religious man like him in his heart. It's not quite for the sake of being able to act, in spite of everything. In his smelly clothes. His ass knows what he thinks and what he's going to do. Here, it's also something that politics hasn't been able to overcome. Even though the situation in front of us is not good at all, it is also important to bring back the injured body. It's hard to lose your life. The Middle East decided one more step forward in recklessness. But that, he boldly declared that he never bowed his head. Even though it ended with Ra Sao, I still have no regrets. No matter what you say, then we won't be able to retreat. It is very annoying to hear your child say that. He doesn't care anymore. He's ready to attack. Or that I've said all I wanted. If you still insist, you will leave today. Network here. Towards the middle butt is also burning the fighting spirit. It doesn't seem to move. Of course, if I had said that, I would have been prepared. There's nothing we can say about who's dead. The boy's magic was so formidable. Just step on your feet. The interior also makes the stone tiles break apart. Rumor 7 is not wrong. After provoking each other's last words, they immediately crashed into each other, like two hungry tigers hungry for prey. Without any risk. They're moving around. Graceful dodge. Combination Ra finishing blow to the opponent. No one on either side would take one. By their main goal right now is to have a degree. Miao Yuan An. The sword comes first. Chinese cotton also has momentum. It's the difference in age and rank. But the power of both is equal. Even the power that both radiate. There are also similarities. Because of my own thick skin. It's inconclusive though, but there's still a certain malice in the spoiler. He attacked with a pounding, to ensure that there is a favorable opportunity too. He could finally be better than the middle. The boy's name was dropped to the ground. To ease the killing, his barren hands slowly reached out. They're going to strangle my ass. But life is not that easy. He was in time to use his inner strength. That success prevents. With braced sleeves for the freezing. You Mandarin, you have to get it back. That's what it looks like. By the power of the boy's rage. Let's fly away. Middle butt is stomped on the magic bar. Then quickly, Yang's sword rushed forward. I thought victory was near. It was accidentally caught by accident. In time to strike. Looking dazed, ass glaring. The sword swung sideways. I almost caught you in too. Fortunately, it was quickly avoided. Face can't help but wonder. In front of the man's inner strength. They were from the beginning. They misunderstand each other's true strengths. That's what the sword of destruction looks like. It's not just at attack distance. It's a big arc. It's like cutting off this sacred place. That makes the middle buttocks. You can't praise the opponent's talent. The sword is too strong. It's very different from the sword, as rumored. Look into his piercing eyes. The guy is easily recognizable. It seems he was determined to die. To live with me here. Even though the situation is so difficult, but the Middle East is not easy to give up. Hold the sword. Feet stomping on the ground without exaggeration. The dead are surprised by that. There's no way that kid could be nowhere. Pedal on my air sword Sao. That, to even the most advanced players on the Gypsy Lake. It hasn't been done yet. I have never dared to try it either. He hated the old man. Then he screamed out a voice that seemed to have been knocked out. But not the middle buttocks worried realize.